Greetings and welcome. My name is Brian Waddy. I'm here with Curriculum Calendar showing off my resource, and here's a tutorial video showing you how to use the agenda portion of your calendar. Now, so here the rolling calendar is always the first tab open, and it shows the previous lesson and the upcoming lessons, and it's always going to skip weekends, holidays, snow days, and everything like that. And you notice that the middle chunk of this is it's got the time that the class starts, and there's kind of nothing there right now. And so if I want to use this, first of all, never, ever, never enter anything. Don't change anything on the rolling calendar. Don't be like, oh, it's the wrong date. I want to change this date. Because if I change this, it's actually going to break the calendar. First of all, it's going to yell at you because I told it to. It's going to yell at you. You're not supposed to change it. And if you change it, it might make it look like the thing you wanted then, but then the next day, this is always now going to say the date that you entered. And we don't want that. We want it to be dynamic and rolling. So if you accidentally enter something, you can hit Control Z to undo. Also, I believe there's an Edit Undo button right here. And it'll go back to the thing that I had. And the reason the thing that I had is important is because it's this crazy formula that makes the thing automatically do the work that we don't want to have to do over and over and over. So don't edit anything here. Don't type in these cells ever. The way you get the agenda to work is you go to your Details tab. And on your Details tab, for any individual lesson, if you scroll over, right, I have these grayed out columns that you're not supposed to edit. You can add columns in front of them. You can add columns to the right of them. You can do whatever you like. But for these columns, what you're going to do is enter in the time of the first activity. So let's say for the first 15 minutes of class, I'm going to, of course, let's do this. Let's do the name game for the first 15 minutes of class. And let's actually, I'm going to open the same thing, accelerated geometry. Here we go. I'm going to open the same document in two windows here so you can see what's happening. So over here I'm going to have the rolling calendar tab open, and you see that I entered 15 minutes and name game, and here it has as my first activity on the agenda, name game, taking 15 minutes. It starts at 10:10 and it should be done around 10:25. And so there we go. Then I might say spend 20 minutes and talk about my syllabus, and as I change those, notice it's live editing and updating this rolling calendar. So this is so great. So you can actually change and have all sorts of things in here. And then maybe I want to do like a 35-minute lesson on geometry, right? Basics of geometry. Right? Maybe I, do something like that. And then let's say I want to have a, I don't know, maybe I'll show like a little 10-minute video about Euclid. Right, something like that. And so as I change those things, it's automatically tracking all of this. It does actually indicate, oh, this is going to go over the time of the end of the class. That's fine in this case, right? You can plan more than your class can fit. No one's going to hold you to this, or I hope parents and students don't. But yeah, so you can edit these, and then maybe year over year, you're like, oh, actually, that lesson, I was able to do that in 30 minutes. And the next time I edit this, it'll actually change that. It'll change the time. If you really wanted to get fancy, you could get, it'll take me 17 minutes to talk about my syllabus, and it'll work with those details. Actually, I'm terrified to consider this right now. What happens if I enter 17.5? It's going to break it, I think. No. Okay, well, yeah, it doesn't fit the entire contents over there. Yeah, tell you what, work in whole minute intervals. We'll have you do that. So these cells are intended to take a number, specifically measured in minutes. Okay, so you don't have to. Do not add a colon in front of that, right? Don't do this. That'll actually mess up the calculations. It'll assume I think it'll assume that they're seconds. Actually, wow, that number's all messed up. So the digit that it's intending on taking is a whole number of minutes. And so you can enter up to 7 activities here. And so yeah, you can have all sorts of things going on. You can do videos. You can do exit ticket, and maybe name a shape, or whatever you're gonna do for your beginning class. There you go. And then write your homework and everything else, or whatever custom resources you want are showing up beneath the agenda and before the agenda. I have 2 slots above and 3 below, so you can customize those in the setup tab. But if you want to have this agenda actually work, that's the way it's designed to work. And what's interesting is if I go as far as, you know, for the same content but a different period, say now block 3, lunch 2, it'll take the same times, but it'll paste those over a new starting time. It'll even tell me, hey, lunch is going to happen before I play my Euclid video. And it just kind of builds all of that in there. So this information on my details tab will hopefully be roughly the same year to year, but it might happen at a different block. It might happen on a different day, and it's all going to accommodate that. Interestingly enough, let's see if I can show this to you. Where's my master calendar? Oh boy, what did I do here? I'm messing us up. So here's the master calendar. This is what the person in, you know, on the admin side of the school would work with. Let's say Tuesday the 30th. Right, I've got all sorts of information here. Let's say the schedule is going to change. Let's say, oh my goodness, there's this crazy snowstorm on August 30th. It's going to be a delayed start schedule. And so they can actually select a different schedule, and block 3 this day is now going to be, I believe, at a different time. No, actually in this case it's the same time. Yeah, but either way it pulls in that information. Or let's do an early release. Let's say they decide to make it a half day. That one won't have lunch. I know that. It takes about 10 seconds for this to feed out to all of your individual curriculum calendars that'll pull from the master calendar. And you'll see, bam, these times changed. And it's pulling all of this information here for early release, which I didn't think had a lunch. I'll have to look into that. But notice that it's early release. It's a different time, 10:50 a.m. class start, compared to an 11:30 a.m. class start for your regularly scheduled days. So so I do want to point out that even things such as changes in the schedule will actually automatically change this here. And I can actually customize. I can have, you know, dozens of different types of schedules. Hopefully your school only has a handful, but maybe, hey, you've got an assembly coming up one day and it's a different schedule. That schedule can actually be programmed in the master calendar. So here's schedule A, all the blocks, when they start, when the middle of them are, early release, all sorts of things. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. So we can actually have lots of schedules available here. And someone edits that on the administration end, this one document, and it will actually automatically feed every teacher's agenda and calendar accordingly. So that's how you'd start. I know that was kind of the back end stuff, inside baseball right there, but that's how you would work with. Oh man, I'm already all over the place. Was it this one? There it was. Okay, so that's how you would work with your agenda setup. So as you change things here, so for instance, points, lines, planes, let's say 15 minutes at the beginning of class, I want to do a warm up. Then I'm going to do you know, a 20-minute lesson on points, and then for 30 minutes we'll have them do a gallery walk activity. That you can kind of plug in those details, and oh, that's funny, I'm entering it in a non-day. That's wonderful. Well, here actually we'll even show you how to deal with that error. I'm gonna cut and paste, and bam, now you can see all of that information showing up in that correct day. So if you want to use the agenda, that's how you use it. Don't edit the titles of these. That'll break the formulas that make things work. You have up to 7 activities to work with. Hyperlinks work on these as well. So for instance, if I wanted to say Huda Software, wait a minute, did they just change this? Free worksheets, here we go, infinite geometry. Yeah, let's say, I don't know, I'll just do line segments here. Say I want to incorporate this. I can copy the link here, and let's say the gallery walk is going to be based on this. What I can do is insert a hyperlink. You can change the text that you want to display, and then you paste the link itself there. and the hyperlink shows up in the activity. It still shows the current name, and what it does is it will actually still carry the link over to your rolling calendar view. So students could still access this on their Chromebooks. You could access them later. But that's how you can use the agenda piece. Now, if you're planning out multiple courses for the first time through using the software, I would recommend really only filling out the bare bones kind of skeleton framework of your course. And I don't know, maybe if you're eager, you can kind of plan your agenda that much. And if you want to go even further than that, let's see, do I actually still have my example? Math 3 example. Here we go. Yeah, if you wanted to go even further than that, I actually would make a column called lesson plan, and where this would actually open up Google Docs as far as, oh, here's the recall problem that I might have them do. Here's vocabulary that I might have them look at. Here's the actual examples that I'm going to have them reference, and so you could actually get super detailed as well. You wouldn't fit this much detail into the spreadsheet itself. You would include it as a Google Doc linked out to it, and then even like what I'll end up doing with that is right, while I'm teaching, I can actually even copy and paste content from my lesson plan and throw it up on my screen one way or another. So so if you want to plan more detailed than just to the day, and you want to plan to the minute or even to the problem that you're teaching, you would use the agenda and the activities portion of your spreadsheet, and you could even go as far as throwing in lesson plans like so. Well, thank you so much for watching. Please comment if you have questions or tips and tricks, or your favorite types of columns that you would want to add to the curriculum calendar, and you can always email me as well with questions at curriculumcalendar@gmail.com. Thank you.